Which obviously, we didn't have a chance to talk to you about it, but that win at St. Mary's, just what that meant for you guys, and obviously, very well played game on your
Yeah,
side.
when I go back and watch the film, it was really nice to see us playing well. And I said it all along that I don't think we've been clicking yet. And I know I've seen progress, and I've seen some guys developing, and so that was getting me excited about the progress of this team is some of the individual development I've seen. But when you start to put it together and it makes a difference out on the court, that's really exciting.
The second half, that team had been shooting so well in
Yeah.
every way. Defensively, what did you guys do, and how happy were you to see? Obviously, that
Well,
helped you win?
you love to think that everything that every shot they missed was just so well defended. Sometimes they are, and then sometimes they get some open looks, and you hope that maybe you rushed them a little bit or got them out of rhythm. But they, we did a pretty good job defensively overall in the second half, and then they did miss a couple good looks that they got, but. I thought our offense was terrific. We were really, really efficient, and we were really efficient down the stretch. And we made the right plays and shared the ball and got the ball to the right guys at the right time. Anthony made a terrific play at the end of the game, up 7, and penetrated, kicked it to Derek. And Derek shooting the ball so well this year, he just kind of put the nail in the coffin.
How important is it to pick up that win, knowing that you're coming back and have this long homestand?
Yeah, that was huge because we've gone through so much with so many 4 different time zones and 7,000 miles or whatever it is, and all the travel and the road games, and so I definitely think it toughened us up as a team to play all those games, and we're playing a hostile environment that not many people have won. I mean, they're 33 game non-league home winning streak, and so to go in there and get that done, that's certainly a feather in the cap and a good sign for this team.
Obviously, you would have wanted to be 7-0, but before the season, you knew the stretch was ahead of you. If you just said, "Hey, you're going to come out of this 5-2," would you have taken that,
well,
or how do you look at?
I don't know because there were some unknowns. I really didn't know how good NC State was. I mean, I knew they were good, but they're a really good basketball team. But I think we came out of that game. It's an ACC road game. With a long way to travel and an undefeated team at the time, and I think it was a good sign that our team was, we were surly for a couple days about losing that game, and that was a good sign that we didn't just go in there and go, okay, well, we lost to a good team and let's move on. They knew they could have played better, and they knew that that was an opportunity missed, and they took advantage of the next one.
I think you said after the Idaho game that you wanted to see you hoped to finally see some results from playing
Right.
this tough schedule, and
Right.
the fact that you do get that win, which is obviously could help later in the year, and you look at you guys 10 or so in the RPI right now, and do you feel like you got out of this stretch what you wanted to?
You really did. I mean, if you come out of, you're 10 in the RPI, you've done your work and you've done everything you can do almost at this point of the season. Now, like I said, the NC State game is probably one that, you wished you would have played a little, but that's life on the road. I mean, it did make us better, and that's why you play a lot of these preseasons. You have to get better for league, at least we know we do, and you want to put yourself in a position, when it ever comes down to it, and if you're in that position, those things help you with that large.
Coach, you've got 2 good efforts out of James Webb in a row. Can you talk about him a little bit? What kind of dynamic he brings to the team?
Well, I'm just so happy for James, and because he's been plugging away, for a long time now, and he does some things at practice that you're like, whoa, eye-popping, and you're thinking, well, that's really going to help this team. And then his issue was probably he would do 2 great things and then 2 bad things, 2 great things, 2 bad. So he's become a lot more consistent, where it's a lot more positive. And he's still going to make some mistakes, and we understand that. But he's really limited his mistakes, especially in his last 2 games.
Looking ahead, Adams State on Tuesday, and perhaps more importantly, NNU on Thursday, a little regional rivalry. What are you seeing from those guys?
Well, there's no more important than Tuesday. I mean, we've got I'm not Lou Holtz in it when I talk about Adams State. They're really talented. They can score the basketball, and they can really get it going. I mean, they barely lost to Nevada. They were right there with New Mexico. I mean, they're a scary team, and it's going to take a mature approach by our guys. I mean, if we just think we're going to come out and play, then we're going to be sorely mistaken, and we're going to be in big trouble.
You stressed, one of the keys this season is the improvement of those bench guys. James has been playing well, but also Kevin seems like he gave a real great spark at St. Mary's, and he's played pretty well recently too.
Yeah.
You settle into a little bit of rotation.
Well,
do you
we're
think?
starting to, and injuries always are going to play a little factor in that, and makes have some changes with that. But we are getting contributions from guys that we have to get contributions from in January and February to be a good basketball team, and that was exciting. I thought Kevin was terrific, especially that first half. James had his whole game was great, and then Montego gave us another good lift off the bench, and he's doing some more positive things. So that we need David and Chandler and those guys to get going too, and be able to contribute, and then then we have a full arsenal of guys that are going to help us down the stretch.
What kind of stretch is this for you guys? Have 2 weeks or so at home and have a chance to play some home games and get some practice time in there, not have to worry about traveling, and just kind of build some confidence here.
Well, this is an important stretch in that aspect. You got 4 at home, and we need to keep making, because we are making progress right now. We can't think that okay, we're at home, everything's fine. That's a trap too many teams fall into, and when you fall into that, I mean, we were talking about this before. There's New Jersey Institute goes in and beats Michigan. I mean, college basketball is such a fine line that if you don't play a high-level game or play it really well and with a lot of energy, I don't care who you're playing, you're in trouble. And so we have to approach it that way, first of all, and then also to get better. And then, we got finals coming up, so there's always distractions. You have to make sure that you're taking care of that. And these are our student athletes, and we want them to compete in the classroom like they do out on the floor.
Speaking of a rotation, Desmond Trent and Chandler Hutchison haven't played a whole lot in the last few games. Trent's only had 8 minutes all year. Do you maybe regret not placing a red shirt on one of those guys?
Well, that's one of those things that we'll figure out at the end of the year as far as regret. You just never know. It's also their decision, so you try to help them guide that decision, but in the end, if you try to have to force a kid to redshirt, it's usually not going to be good. And we want them to be able to work their way in to the lineup, no question.
You talked a lot about trying to hopefully get some improvement to Taco Bell Reno. You got a little bit of start of that with some of these new boards.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is great, and we do need to keep improving it. And that's the beauty of Mark Coyle. He understands that, and so he's gonna work hard to keep improving Taco Bell Arena, and then it's gonna be a great place.
You've talked a lot about the football team and what they do for
Yeah.
you and to help you guys and to see them get back to the Fiesta Bowl.
We were so happy, and it was tough that they were playing at the same time. But I know that when I went out to go out to tip for St. Mary's, we're up 14-0, so I knew we were in good shape. So I felt pretty confident about it. But I'm really proud of those guys. They came in here and a change of coaching staff, and those guys have energized this place, and to finish like they've finished, it's been impressive. And to do what they did, kind of their backs were against the wall after that Air Force game, and it was a real inspiration. I mean, it's really neat what they were able to accomplish.
Derek, Mountain West Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Just announced that a little bit ago, and obviously, even by his standards, that was maybe one of the best games he's played in his career against St. Mary's.
Yeah, no, I thought he was terrific. I mean, he was just so efficient, and he just made it look so easy scoring on him, and just went down in the post, and it was like Akeem Olajuwon down there. It was, but without all the shake, just turn around, score it, and now he was where maybe his sophomore year that some of those would have been charges, and some of them might have been traveling. So he's growing as a player, even as a senior, and so. And then, the thing I always tell him is all that the other stuff that he brings to us is equal to or greater than in importance to this team. And he went and got 7 rebounds, and in a game like that was huge. So deserving for him to get Player of the Week, and we're really happy for him.
With so many new guys, how have you seen, I guess, the team mesh together so early in the season?
Well, this has been a good group as far as how they practice and how they care about each other off the court. They're good teammates to each other, and they want to win, and they put the team first. And guys are making sacrifices up and down this lineup. They're making sacrifices, minutes and shots and all that stuff, and they're doing it for the team, and so that's encouraging as a coach.
Is it especially important to see those sacrifices before conference play rolls around?
Well, it is, and but the biggest thing is we got to see growth before conference rolls around. We got some teams in our league that are playing really, really good right now, and so we have to get better, and we know that our guys, we make them aware of that, and the number of days till we play at Colorado State's not very many, and we don't have many practice days. We can't waste any, and we can't, come out and go through the motions at all. We have to get a lot better to compete with